The Zika virus having been recently confirmed in Belize, the Ministry of Health continues to spread awareness on the disease. The infection, known as Zika fever, often causes only mild symptoms, similar to a very weak form of dengue fever. Its spread from an expecting mother to her baby may result in microcephaly and other severe brain problems.
What occurs is that the brain is not developing at a normal rate, and this in turn then affects the skull. So then the head itself then is smaller than normal. And what does this lead to? Well, the outcome would be that that particular newborn and child would have a slow development or have developmental problems throughout his lifespan. This can lead to other consequences. For example, that the child cannot learn well in school, um, and then, of course, cannot go to school, cannot get a job, and on a whole, the development of the country is affected.
While there is no outbreak of the disease, the fact that it was detected in Belize City has prompted officials from the Central Health Region to give precedence to specific neighborhoods.
Now that we have a confirmed case in the city, we first started off by prioritizing the areas of interest. Um, we went into those areas, conducted thermal spraying, ULV spraying, premises inspection. From there on, now we have expanded now to include the entire city, and we have already started the ULV spraying in Belize City as early as last week.
Of note is that the same mosquito that is responsible for the spread of Zika is also the vector for other illnesses, including dengue and chikungunya.
It is the same vector, the Aedes mosquito, Aedes aegypti, Aedes albopictus mosquito, that is the vector for Zika, is also the vector for dengue and chickpea. Therefore, the control measures are the same. What we are doing specifically to Zika, as soon as the ministry shared with us the national response plan for Zika, the surveillance was initiated, and the general idea behind that was to capture information as early as possible so that we can focus our interventions on the most needed areas. That was then.
The signs of Zika are often subtle. Occasionally, however, patients can come down with symptoms of conjunctivitis. Not all pregnancies where females are infected with the virus result in microcephaly. Dr. Javier Zuniga, Regional Manager for the Central Health Region, explains.
Patients will probably have a low-grade fever, which means a very slight fever. They can also present with joint pain, rash, and a non-purulent conjunctivitis, or what we call pink eye or red eye. Those are the four major symptoms, but the two that are outstanding in cases that we see now would be the low-grade fever and the rash. Those are the two that stand out from the others. Now, in terms of the problem with microcephaly, so Zika has now been linked to causing microcephaly in fetuses of pregnant females. Not all pregnancies will lead to, in the case where the mother is infected by Zika virus, will lead to microcephaly. It's just a small percentage. We can detect microcephaly in uterus. That is very costly because you'll need to do an ultrasound for each pregnant mother. And you'll have to do an ultrasound in the first trimester and third trimester to rule out any abnormalities with the fetus. So if it is detected within the womb at early, there very little that we could do if the mother wants to have that child. The Ministry of Health is still working on policies as to what would be the case scenario in which we have a mother that has been detected with microcephaly, and what outcome there might be with that pregnancy. So I cannot comment to say that we have something in place because we're still working on that.
The following are tips that can help to prevent becoming infected with Zika.
The message to the general public is protect yourselves from being bitten by the mosquitoes. How you do that? We know that the Aedes mosquito is usually active early in the morning and late in the evening, dusk and dawn. Those are the preferred feeding times or biting times for the mosquito. So if you're outdoors, use a repellent, use a long sleeve blouse or shirt, long pants, and you can also protect yourselves indirectly by eliminating the mosquito breeding sites that in and around the residences.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Caetano.